count of five.
What's up, YouTube? This is Artisan MC, and today I will be reviewing WatchMen Episode 2. Yes, it's a little late, but I got some things going on in life. I broke my phone and I had to get a new phone, and if you know anything about me, you know that all of these videos that I do are basically just on my phone. Edited, sound, everything is done on my phone. So until I actually start leveling up and decide I want to make a room into a studio, this is what you're going to get. So anyway, so episode 2. I really liked the performances in this episode. And doing this from memory, because it was like a week ago that I watched it, and I still haven't seen episode 3 yet. But the death of Don Johnson's character is interesting. And I'll just say this, since people have already seen it already. I think the through line in this episode was tied to hooded justice. Okay, and here's the thing. I went into it a little bit on the BGS's live stream one Saturday about the need to look closer at what was going on in that episode. So here's my thing on it. And this will be out of order because. The point in which they started revealing and telling the hooded justice story is a point you start learning more about the Don Johnson's character, Chief of Police. Now, mind you, the story is about, hooded justice story is about how a guy faked his death. That his body was found in the river, but it wasn't him. Then he goes back and you see him doing his super heroic stuff, right? Okay, so my thinking is Don Johnson's character was not a Klansman. Now, I say this not having seen episode 3 yet, so if this is totally off the mark, then that's just my fault for being late. But he was not, I don't think he was a Klansman. My thinking is that his father was hooded justice. And that's why the Klan hood in the closet, and costume in the closet, has a police badge on it. And that's why the cinematographer focused on the picture of Don Johnson's character and his father at the same time, and showing you in the reflection the picture of the Klan hood with the shield on the chest, because the father was a police officer as well. Now, most people say that's the most objectionable part of the whole episode. I don't think so. I think the whole Nixonville thing, where Red Menace is there, or excuse me, Red Scare is there, and just going to drive these poor white folks out of their Winnebagos and tents and shit. That's kind of messed up. That, to me, looks like, I guess it's close to Christmas time, so I'm thinking of Pottersville from It's a Wonderful Life, but it's where all the poor people are, and they're poor white people at that. And he's just rolling up in there as a Russian and rolling their asses out of there. That's kind of messed up, especially to see that he's staying in Nixonville. But this is the WatchMen universe, so things are a little twisted. The other standouts in this episode are Glass, the character of Glass. Now, if you don't know, the actor who's playing Glass in this was the lead actor in Buster Scruggs, the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. Okay, and I can't think of the guy's name at the moment. I'm just having a brain fart because it's late. But he's a good actor. I like him. But this role that he's playing as Glass is really, for me, is trying to pull on the whole Rorschach feel without Rorschach being in it, so to speak. That he is the heir apparent to Rorschach in this HBO WatchMen series. Now, the whole shiny mask thing is interesting to me. I don't know why I keep fixating on that, but it is a bit interesting, especially since he's the interrogator. It's kind of funny. He has a good scene with the main character in the car where they're talking and he's asking her questions and they're going back and forth. And he gets to a point where he says, then why is he crying under here? Which shows that the guy has some humanity, right? He's not just some soulless person under a mask. Now, where this character goes, because they're pushing him and he's becoming a little bit more interesting to me, I'm curious to see where he goes in later episodes. But in the meantime, he's just one of those interesting people that's in the show. So, character development wise, with the main character, I'm interested. I enjoyed the scene with her and Topher and talking to that kid about what happened to Don Johnson's character, as well as learning where these kids came from. Because obviously they weren't her damn kids, right? She adopted them from somewhere. But understanding where the kids came from, that they were her partner's kids that were left over, okay, I'm fine with that. Okay, that to me strikes a little bit more of an honorable tone. It's a little bit different strokes-ish, but it is what it is. And shit like that happens, I'm sure. But the thing I find objectionable about this is that the kid displays some anger and stuff at times, and it's kind of passed off. That's the part that kind of bothers me about it. It's like he'll do something violent and then automatically jump to something else really kiddish, and I'm like, is the kid bipolar or what? Like, for the situation, I understand, but just in general, I'm just a different kind of dude. What can I say? So, moving on to her husband, I can see where some people would say he's being a really weak man. But basically, in my opinion, he's being that supportive house husband or whatever else, right? And he's playing his role with a wife who is a police detective. So she's a real hard charger, right? You see that from the first episode. So, given her character, I don't think she's going to have a guy who's going to be just as hard going as she is. It doesn't make sense. With the whole thing of opposites attracting, she's going to have to find somebody who's going to be there and be supportive, and not somebody who want to run out there with her the same way she running out there. Okay, it just makes sense. If you take the roles and reverse them, and say the guy's playing the woman's role and the woman's playing the guy's role, it makes perfect sense, right? The police detective is going to be the one running out there, and the wife is going to be home taking care of the kids and being in the house when the partner's hillbilly racist brother shows up to pick up the kids. It's the same situation. So for me, I always try to do that. I always try to, turn the perspective, look at it from the other side, and swap the players around and see if it still makes sense. To me, it still makes sense. Is it the most egregious display of a black man on television? No, this same dude was, as far as I know, played some, I don't know what character in Black Mirror. So I don't think this is that damn egregious. Is he the supportive beta male or whatever? He is what he is. He's taking care of the damn kids and playing with them. For all the stats of black men being good fathers and stuff like that, I don't think anybody should find it objectionable that this guy is playing with kids and they actually having fun with him. But that's just me. So the night of the killing of the police officers. Now here's the thing for me. Looking at this that part in it, it was messed up. It was a messed up situation, and that could be triggering for, I think, any police officer that works in the city. That's probably why they don't live in the city that they work in half the time. But for me, I found something interesting. Because Regina King's character, now I finally remembered her name, because Regina King's character did not get killed that night, it leads me to believe that Don Johnson's character was the one who was in her house and was the one who was about to kill her and didn't. To me, it seems too coincidental that the last thing she sees is this dude looking down on her with a shotgun, and the next thing she sees is him looking at her, and she's in a hospital. And he's saying he got hit and whatever. I don't think so. And I think that's further in that theory that it was him is because even as a police chief, he's the only one in this department that's not wearing a mask. Now, everybody is worried about protecting their identities and shit like that, except him, it seems like. So why is he not worried? I think it was a plan and he has some second thoughts or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. Like I said, I haven't seen the third episode. I'm only going on the first 2 episodes. But it's something else going on with him. I don't think he's necessarily dead. I don't think that Klan costume was actually his. And he may not be as squeaky clean as everybody is thinking. Aside the fact that he's doing coke. So there is that. The stuff with Louis Gossett Jr.'s character. That was interesting. And seeing the whole leafleting of those soldiers back in World War One was an interesting thing. It called back some ideas of how many black men and stuff like that were in Germany or stayed in Europe or whatever after war. So that was interesting. Finding out that he is the grandfather and not the father is interesting. I'm trying to figure out where that fits because by the end of the show, he's getting taken away when she finally decides she's going to take him in, and he gets rescued by obviously Archie ship that uses a magnet and pulls the whole damn car away. He must be hooked up with the government or some Germans or some shit. I don't know, but it is interesting to see. I want to see if she get her damn car back too, but it's interesting to see. So that's where I fall on that. It's still, to me, an interesting show in the sense that I don't know exactly where they're going yet. And that's fine with me. If I knew the ending of how this was going to go already, it wouldn't be as much fun to watch the shit. That's the main thing. Because the point I'm at with watching geek stuff or whatever, dude, don't make it predictable. Please don't make it fucking predictable. That is like lazy and boring as hell to me. If I'm at least entertained and don't know exactly where you're going, or maybe I guessed that ending and you kind of get there, fine. Tell me the story. That's why I'm here. I want you to tell me the damn story. If I can guess it, if I know the ending before it happened, I know the twists before they come up, dude, I've driven this world before and I don't need to go down it again, okay? I got to do something new. So as long as they keep me interested, and I don't know where they're going necessarily, but I'm willing to go along for the ride, then we good. At the moment that it becomes predictable and I already know where they're going, I know the next trope and I know the next shocking image that's going to come up, then I'm off of the show. I'm not watching it anymore. They got me anyway because Regina King was on it, and I was at least curious about the show, but they have to keep that up. So the last part, just for time's sake, is Ozymandias. Now, I kind of figured there was some weird shit going on with this guy, and weird in the sense that these people were not acting like people. They're acting like robots anyway. So my thing is, why is he here by himself and scripting all of this? What is going on with this? Because in this one, obviously you got the retelling of the Dr. Manhattan origin with him playing out this scene with duplicates. Now, are they living people? Are they clones? Is he pulling some prestige bullcrap where he's just cloning these things up and then killing them and then cloning some more and killing them? I don't know. But I think it's an old guy trying to relive his heyday and stuck in what he knows happened. that if this is really supposed to be after the event with Dr. Manhattan, then Ozymandias must be bored. He must be bored. Smartest man on the planet is bored as hell because he already knows what happened, but nothing else interesting is happening for him. But it remains to be seen. Jeremy Irons is a good actor. I don't think they paid him all this money just to sit in this dang show and be weird with a bunch of people that's supposed to be clones. That seems pointless, for lack of a better word. So I'm waiting to see what else happens with him. I'm expecting some more weirdness. I don't expect to see no more male penis. I just don't. This ain't Game of Thrones. I don't think the show needs it, but whatever the hell. Eventually, I know Dr. Manhattan is going to show up in this just from their preview for the season. You saw the little blue hand or whatever. He's showing up. The 7th Cavalry stuff is still interesting to me because I want to know why they are gravitating toward the Rorschach mask. I need to know that because knowing the Rorschach character, he would be totally against them. Probably. And if you go with the current Rorschach, which is a black dude, I'm sure he'd be against that shit. And Doomsday Clock? Nah, bro. That's not happening. So it remains to be seen what's going on with them. They're good for an antagonist, but you don't know what their motives are and you don't know why they're there. So it needs to get to some kind of exposition or something to tell me what their purpose is. Otherwise, I'm going to lose interest in that character too. But that's it for me now. This is a bit long, but I hadn't did a long video in a while, which means it'll take me forever to actually get this one edited and put up, but I'll do my best. As always, like, share, subscribe, and I'm going to get out here and get something to eat now. And I will see you guys next time when episode 3 gets in front of my face. Peace.
You want to talk to me?